You talked about the East German side, though, because there was that doping. They beat you, but it was later found that they had been taking some sort of drugs, or the doping, they failed the drug test. So how did you feel after that? You must have been, because you've mentioned it now, it must be something that sort of niggles you a little bit still.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. It was frustrating at the time. So it's not like we've now discovered, something that we didn't know. These athletes would turn up at major events. We'd never seen them before. They sounded very masculine. They had Adam's apples. They had very bad skin because they were given old-fashioned testosterone and steranabol. And it was through no fault of their own. This was a state-run doping program that they had very little control over. So I had no qualms with the individuals, but I had a big qualm with the IOC, who did absolutely nothing about this for nearly 20 years. So, a couple of generations of young girls lost out on the medals that they should have had. And also a couple of generations of young girls in East Germany were given very, very nasty drugs, which had terrible side effects. And that's never really been properly acknowledged by the IOC or apologized for or put right. And, it was swimming, athletics and rowing were the three big sports that were affected. And so, for example, in my Olympics in Moscow in 1980, East Germany took first, second and third in pretty much every single event. I think it was bar two. And they won 90% of the women's medals and less than 5% of the men's. And that doesn't happen unless you're doing something illegal. And so it wasn't as if we didn't know. We did know. And that was what was the most frustrating thing. And that's why I suppose I'm as vocal as I am about the whole transgender situation with sport. It's not that I have any qualms with anyone. I'm very empathetic with anyone that's gender dysphoric. It must be absolutely horrendous. However, if you have male puberty advantage, that is not fair that you're able to compete against females. So, I'm just a big believer that sport should be fair, but we have to find better ways to be inclusive than to throw women's sport under the bus.